Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey guys, Steve here, fitdadnation.com. Welcome to the podcast. I appreciate you listening in. Before I get into today's show, and it's been a couple weeks since I've recorded, but I wanted to jump back into things, and I had something very particular I wanted to talk about, something that's really important to us. But before I do, I want to invite every guy, if you're listening to this, if you are a dad, and this is for dads, we've got a couple of different groups, one of which is a free private Facebook group. We've got a lot of stuff going on in there, a lot of great content. There's almost 800 dads in there right now. And so I invite you to apply to that group if you're just kind of looking to level up your life, to become accountable, and to be part of a tribe of like-minded guys. You can find more information about that. You can apply directly to the group at fitdadnation.com/community. We also have our kind of exclusive VIP membership program. That is also a private group. We've got about 62 men in there right now. And that's where we do our monthly challenges, accountability-based. We do a lot of tracking, like points and spreadsheets. Really kind of cool stuff to keep you accountable. I really try to keep it unique and creative and fun. And I think probably one of the biggest benefits, other than the ton of content that's included in the program itself, is the commitment level of these guys is off the charts. And I just love seeing that. So results are definitely happening a lot more so in this group than I've seen in other groups. And one of the main reasons, to be honest, is this, free groups are a dime or a dozen, really. Even, mine is the same. And when someone doesn't have skin in the game, and I really try to keep the cost down in my programs and groups, when you don't have skin in the game, there's really nothing to lose. So, I've just noticed over the last 5 years that men tend to not be nearly as engaged or committed when there's nothing at stake. So if you want to find out more information about all the stuff going on in the inner circle, head over to fitdadnation.com/inner circle. So I think it's probably fair to say that the number one goal for most of us as dads in our 30s and 40s, maybe beyond, is losing weight, right? We're always, seems like we're always looking to lose those extra pounds, and it's not 5 or 10 pounds, it's 30 pounds, 40 pounds. It happens to a lot of us. Just life gets in the way, right? We can eat whatever we want in our 20s, in our late teens. We can train for 2-3 hours a day, no problems, but as we get older, we get married, we have kids, we slow down, we get desk jobs, we have commutes, we have obligations, and there's a lot of stress, and we end up sitting. A lot of us sit. I was no different for many, many years. And we just start living a more sedentary life. It's just what happens for the most part. We put on weight, right? Our metabolism slowed down. We start losing muscle mass. Our testosterone starts decreasing. So our body starts to slowly change. And of course, there's lots that we can do to combat that, change it even. But a lot of us aren't. Obviously, I don't have to tell you guys, the U.S. alone, 60-some-odd% of us are overweight, 30+% obese. So it's not like, we don't have enough information. We don't know what we're doing. We have everything we need already. It's just we're not doing it. And so, one thing I've noticed, and I've trained a lot of people over the last 23 years. I've coached a lot of people. But people, they tend to use scale weight as the primary indicator for success. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to be at, 210, whatever it is. And there's certainly a case to be made for that. And I think that, and this is my honest opinion, is unless you have just a ton of weight to lose, and that's certainly something that a lot of men are dealing with as well. I think scale weight is generally a poor indicator of success or progress. First off, I'll just say that, when someone says, I want to lose 20 pounds, what you really should be saying is, I want to lose 20 pounds of fat, because honestly, anybody can lose 20 pounds by just severely restricting calories, cutting them super low, cutting out water. Just extreme measures. And one of the reasons, and I've talked about this a lot, is that popular diets are so successful. Weight Watchers, you name it. They have testimonials, Rapid Weight Loss, The Biggest Loser program, stuff like that. They can claim massive testimonials, like really impressive testimonials, say, Joe lost 112 pounds, over the last 4 months, is because they put them on extreme crash diets and do things that are not sustainable or even healthy. And so, when you want to lose 20 pounds, you really should be saying, I want to lose 20 pounds of body fat while I'm keeping or adding my muscle tissue, because that is absolutely the most important thing you can do. Lean muscle tissue is the best fat burner available. There's no supplement on the market that's going to be better than having more lean muscle on your body. So what I tell a lot of my clients, really, and especially those that are focused really on scale weight, and it's just human nature, and some people grow up just really focusing on the number on the scale. I personally don't care at all about my weight. I have a number of other things that I use to track my progress. And so that's what I want to share with you today is non-scale victories. I call them non-scale victories because I really honestly believe that you should be focusing on these things as your indicators for success, not, I'm 4 pounds down, or, hey, I'm 2 pounds down. And I'll say that, the scale is a tricky thing, depending on the time of day, how much water is in your body, how much food is in your digestive system. You may be retaining extra fluid. There are a lot of things. Maybe you even haven't gone to the bathroom in a day or two. Like, all of those things can affect your weight, 1, 3, 4 pounds even. And if you're looking every day to see, did I lose a half a pound? Am I up half a pound? You're going to drive yourself crazy, and it's very demotivating to see that. So first off, I would say if you're going to use scale weight as an indicator, once a week is plenty. I honestly weigh myself maybe once a month, really. And so these are the things that I look at, and I've got a number of them listed out here. I'm going to share them with you, and you can use some or all of them as a gauge, but I really believe that a much better approach to determining how well you're doing with your health and fitness goals can be determined by non-scale victories instead of just scale weight. So number one I'll say is, and this one's more obvious, is your clothes start fitting better, right? You put on those pants or those shorts that you haven't worn in a while, and they fit again. And you're like, holy shit, these have been in the closet since I graduated college 22 years ago, and they fit you now. Like, you didn't think you'd ever get in size 34 again, and here you are in size 34, right? That is a huge win. I don't know how many testimonials that I've seen that guys have posted in the group saying, man, I'm down, this size, or my belt loop is actually down at the bottom rung, which I haven't seen in forever, right? That's a huge, huge motivator, and it's certainly strong enough to keep you going. It was funny because I was someone that never could gain weight. I had the hardest time gaining weight. Actually, all the way to my 30s, I was stuck at 160, and I'm about 6 feet tall. 160, I just couldn't seem to break through that. I was eating like a horse. I was training hard and heavy. But I was like a classic hard gainer where it was just so hard for me. I had to have, long arms and long bones, and, it's just a lot harder for me to put on a lot of muscle. And then I started working a desk job back in 2002, and over the next 10 years, I put on probably 15 to 20 pounds of, I would say a lot of fat because I was sitting for 8-10 hours a day. And that's exactly what happened. And so after I left that profession and started working back full-time in the fitness business, all those old clothes that I'd kind of shelved, a couple pairs of jeans, some old t-shirts that, weren't looking so great on me because of all the extra weight I was carrying, I could wear those clothes again. And so huge thing for guys, especially for guys. I would also say that having more energy, that's the first thing that comes. And one of the first things that you're going to notice is when you start making progress and, getting consistent with your exercise, getting consistent with your diet, right? If you're avoiding most of the crap that that you shouldn't be eating, the processed foods, the sugars, the garbage, the packaged foods, right? Your energy is going to go up quickly. It may crash in the short term. That's very common when your body gets dependent on processed foods, chemicals, sugar, refined sugars, right? When you take that away, especially if you go cold turkey, your body's gonna say, what the fuck is going on? It's gonna crash. That's normal. It's happened to me multiple times. I've certainly gone in waves of super clean eating, and then kind of regressed a bit, like pretty much everybody else does. But you're gonna notice a lot more energy. You're gonna notice a lot more stamina, right? You're gonna be able to keep up with your kids more. That is a huge victory because I've heard it time and time again. I want to keep up with my kids. They're 3 and 5. they run constantly, they never run out of energy, but I'm smoked. I've worked all day. I just want to sit home and chill out, but they want to go, and it's not fair to them. So, yeah, that's huge. If you can keep up with your kids and have the energy to play with them for as long as they want to play with, that is a massive win. And I'll say that on that note, having confidence comes directly from results, right? So if you're busting your ass in the gym and you're doing the right things and nothing's happening, you're going to start questioning what's going on. You're not going to feel great about it. But when you start seeing those results, you start feeling those results, right? That is maybe one of the most important things of all, because I really believe that having confidence in yourself plays a critical role in your marriage, your relationships, your ability to father, to be the best father you can be, to be a better role model. I've seen a lot of guys, and it's sad, and honestly, I was one of these guys years ago. But you go to the grocery store and you see a family, and you see the mom with the kids there yelling, and the dad is like 10 steps behind, kind of plodding behind with his head down, shoulders drooped over, right? He's just beaten down, it's hard, I don't want to say I'm just going to judge people and say their life sucks, but, I feel like I was that person for so long that I know what it's like. Like, you're just beaten down. I didn't, when I was married and I was going through some struggles and I wasn't taking care of myself at all, yeah, my confidence was garbage. And, since I've rededicated myself, it really does affect so much, including, being a better dad. I honestly believe that, And with that confidence comes something that's extremely important to most of us, and that's having better sex with our wives. That's part of this. Like, that's certainly a quantifiable result that you can see. Because when you're out of shape and you can barely walk up a flight of stairs, how does that affect your performance in the bedroom? Of course it does, right? None of us want to be porn stars, I'm sure, but it would be nice to spend more time probably than we are now doing those types of things, and there's nothing wrong with that. And if you have the stamina, I think that makes for a happier wife and a happier physical relationship, and it can only help your marriage. So that's extremely important. I'll also talk about looking in the mirror and just being like, you know what, I actually see something here that I didn't see before. I see that tricep muscle popping out a little bit. I see a little shade of an ab muscle that I haven't seen in forever, right? You start seeing those things, and that's sometimes that small victory is enough to keep you going and keep you pushing forward. It really is. And sometimes it's just a very subtle notice, right? Like a little extra muscle, a little mass in your pec, right? Or you flex your quads, right? And you see that some of those, muscles pop out a little bit. That can be huge. And you think to yourself, you know what? This is working, and on a similar note, when people start to notice that, and that's important stuff, because if you're pushing yourself and you're trying hard, and especially if you've been like this for a while, like say you've kind of been the fat dad for years, people know you as the fat dad, and then, they start seeing you, putting your effort into changing that, right? And someone says, damn, Chris, you look good. What have you been doing? Like, tell me about what you've been doing, because I need to lose 30 pounds. And, it seems like your work is paying off. Your hard work's paying off. Huge motivator. So don't discount that. When people start noticing that, don't think they're just trying to kiss your ass. You should think that, maybe there is something, because oftentimes we're the last people to see it. Even though we're making good progress, we can't see it, right? We look at ourselves constantly. So especially somebody you haven't seen in a while. Hey, Dave, look at you. Chris, man, you look amazing. Tell me about what you've been doing, right? Huge. I want to talk about this one. This one is so important, is moving better. So, if you're doing the right things in the gym, if you're doing, enough of the mobility work, you're doing strength training, you're doing your cardio work, you cleaned up your diet, you're getting more sleep, you start doing those good things, you're going to notice that the way you move improves. And it sounds kind of, strange, but just watch, like literally go out somewhere and watch like a group of like middle-aged dads and just watch how poorly they move. Can't bend over to touch their toes, right? They're hunched over a little bit. The way they walk is even looks like it's a struggle sometimes to walk properly. And it's because, we spent years getting tight and weak, right? We're not doing the movements that we should be doing, things that can open up our hips, loosen up our hamstrings, help our weak lower backs from sitting, rounded shoulders from sitting and looking at a computer, right? All those things are extremely common. And if you're not addressing them, you should be. And I've got, a number of resources on that, especially in the inner circle. We do a lot of mobility dedicated stuff. But you'll notice that as you start progressing, I would absolutely say that a big win would be moving better. You get up and the aches and pains are gone, right? Feeling those creaks. And, it's really amazing how good you can feel once you start becoming more active on a consistent basis. And, I heard this, or I read this somewhere, and it said, most of us have no idea how good our bodies are designed to feel. And it's really true. And I'm using myself as an example, but when I was really beating myself up after my separation years ago, I really went into a kind of a dark place and was really abusing my body. I just wasn't exercising. I was eating really poorly. I put on a bunch of weight, felt horrible, right? And I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good at all. It's even hard to describe, but I didn't move well. I didn't feel good. But once I recommitted, started getting back into the gym, started doing my thing, right? My body just felt better. And if you haven't been there, and honestly, I feel bad for guys that haven't felt like they could say, what, I feel really good. I feel bad for those guys, but it's certainly within your control. And once you start making that progress, absolutely, that's something that'll happen. I would say that, a general feeling of like more, not only mental focus, but just being more positive is a win. And, obviously you've heard endorphins. When you start training hard, right, you're releasing endorphins, and that's true. And it's a very powerful thing, and, it can almost help us break out of the ruts we're in. And I think that's huge because the world, especially now, but the world has so much negativity. Just feeling like more positive, like you can get more shit done in your day, because, and again, I can only speak for myself. And when I'm on my A game and things are going well in my exercise and my lifestyle and my diet, I want to get more shit done. I wake up and I feel good. I feel ready to go, and I feel like I can do anything. When I'm not there, oftentimes, seriously, I don't want to do anything. Like, I'll just mope around, and you're waiting for the next meal filled with sugar and carbs and garbage, like processed carbs and junky foods, and it's just a totally different ball game. But having that feeling like you can get after it and you can do anything, that's huge. Okay, and same with just getting better sleep. I know it's not a very exciting topic, but I dedicated a whole show to sleep, because it's that important. But you'll get better sleep. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not getting enough quality sleep. I could talk about this for a while, but you can certainly see how your progress is going by how good you are sleeping. You're gonna feel better throughout the day, and you're gonna have an easier transition into sleep and a better quality sleep. And that's just going to snowball into other things, because obviously that plays such a huge role. What else I want to talk about, I would say, one I didn't mention, I want to say too, there's no particular order to this. I have a list of things that I wanted to talk about, but this isn't in an order. Because what's important to me is not necessarily what's most important to you. So whatever works for you is great. But I will say something that's probably at the top of the list for most guys is strength, because you'll notice an improvement of strength. We're guys, we have egos, we want to lift heavy shit regardless of where we are in our lives. A lot of us had our glory days 20 plus years ago. We would love to be able to do those same things. I'll take pull-ups, for example, right? Most men, in my experience, most middle-aged guys struggle to do one good dead hang pull-up, right? It's just how it is. I'm not going to beat you up because of it. But almost every guy that I've ever coached has said, I want to be able to do a pull-up. It's important. It's just our human nature as men, right? We want to be able to do something. That's probably the ultimate test of physical strength, is literally pulling your own fat ass up over a bar, right? I mean, that's important shit. Working on that strength, noticing strength improvements. Maybe it's more push-ups, maybe it's more of whatever. It's a longer plank, or it's that 1, 2, or 3, or even 10 pull-ups. Huge indicator. Huge, because that stuff takes time, right? That means you're progressing. That means you're doing the right things and you're going in the right direction. So don't take that for granted when you start getting stronger. Okay? And I'll talk about having a better relationship with food. That's a win, right? A lot of us go through life craving food, craving junky foods, sodas, fast foods. Once you can get consistent, once you start progressing, not only will it help your relationship with food, and I think that comes directly from eating better on a consistent basis, because once you start eating better and you start feeling better, like all these things start coming together, you don't want to go back to the way you were eating, right? You start to understand the difference between how you feel when you have a box of Pop-Tarts or a bag of Doritos versus something else, right? Maybe something healthier. So having that better relationship with food, kind of understanding the basic principles of good nutrition, that's a win. That's a non-scale victory, because you're learning something, you're using it, and it's helping you. It's huge. It is. And let me think here what else I wanted to talk about. And I guess I'll just leave it with this. I would say that having activity, having better health, having your routine, having your good habits, just having that consistently in your life is, or hopefully a permanent part of your life, is a huge and I know I keep saying the word huge, but huge non-scale victory. Because if you've been somebody that has either gone on and off diets, gone on and off programs, up and down weight, fitness levels been all over the place over the years, or if you just have really not done a whole lot for a while, years, having physical activity, a regular, training program, a healthy-ish diet, doesn't have to be perfect, right? Moving more, sleeping better, all those things, right? Those things being a part of your life, that's a win in itself, right? I don't care about the scale at all with this. Just having that is going to help every part of your life, your quality of life, your longevity. It's going to affect everything. So just look at that too. So if nothing else, if you take nothing else away from this, and I hope that you take a lot away from this, but if you take nothing else away from it, please understand that just developing a few solid habits of regular activity, movement, proper nutrition, hydration, sleep, de-stressing, just having that as part of your life consistently, and not for a month, 2 months, 6 months, but I'm talking, this should be a permanent part of your life. The biggest
Thanks for joining us. So, and remember,
hopefully this helps.
if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.